All right, we are on. So you're just grabbing another 0 alcohol beer?
Yeah, this one has...
Which one? That's the Carlton 0?
This is the Carlton 0.
That wasn't bad. It was a little bit sweet.
Yeah, I got the Heineken one as well.
That'll be good to try.
Which is... I didn't bring any of them today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We're just...
We're on one type.
Yeah, we don't want to mix our drinks.
No. All right, so g'day everyone. It is Sunday, the 8th of September. So we've been taking it a bit steadier today, and coming towards the end of the day, Dad and I have come down here to Joey Jarrah to put our camera a little bit further up, which will give us a better look over the water point as we have got more cattle coming in. And on our way down, we decided we'd crack a couple of 0 alcohols, which we started drinking a lot more of because it's been a warm day, but Dad's been over a welder for most of it. So something a little bit different to water and the electrolytes to quench your thirst is pretty good. So we've gotten down here to Joey Jarrah, and we've got a couple of things that we're going to achieve, and one is to put that camera further up, but that's not going to be the main part for today. But upon getting here, and I had looked at it on the camera, and I noticed that the dipstick was down a little bit from what I'd expected. We've arrived and we quickly identified the cause of that isn't that there's a problem with the pump. It's, well, there is, but that's because it's not getting voltage. The power lead has disconnected and we've got no power. So she's unplugged and it's been chewed, as you can see there, by some critter, probably a cow.
This one's got not quite home. Oh yeah, no, that one's right home.
So we might need to do a little bit of work on that plug.
I wonder if I'm going to be able to get him to...
And I didn't bring a set of new connectors, you know, the MC4.
I'll trim him up and...
Well, we can always do that. So Dad's going to mess around with getting that going and plugged in. Somewhere I do have, actually the orange toolbox, which we can never tell if it's orange or yellow, has actually got all the MC4 connectors for if this happens. Now this water point, we've gotten away with not having conduit on it for such a long time, but there is a good story about here, which we'll get onto in just a moment. So, on this channel, we've been approached many times by people who want to have us demonstrate and test some of their products, promoting it. We've always had a policy that we do not want to have anything on our channel that we aren't genuinely going to use or have a need for in our business and in our operations, which means that we can actually genuinely approach reviews of products with honesty and integrity, as well as the transparency of letting you know that these guys have sent us this unit for free to test out and review on the channel. Now those same principles are what myself and the team at the Shooters Fishers Farmers Party are operating by, which is the honesty, integrity and transparency. And that's just because that's the nature of the people who we are. We want to make sure that people see us for who we are, and what we intend to do. So it's a good way to operate and it translates well into our YouTube channel. So this is the ITEHIL or ITEHIL water purifier. So it's a reverse osmosis unit. I use a reverse osmosis unit at home to reduce some of the high calcium levels that we do have in our water because we've got bore water. And that's particularly for Jasmine with her iron deficiency, because the calcium can actually help, well, calcium can bind up your iron if you're low in iron. So we run that at home for the drinking water, but it also means that the kettle will last longer. Other than that, the water at home is incredibly safe to drink, and that's what I run with in my water bottle. But out here at Joey Jarrah, the water isn't actually that good. Good enough for cattle, and it's a little bit of a test for us, which Dad and I will jump into talking about and why it's good that we're here at Joey Jarrah. Right, so this is the unit itself. It's got 2 plugs in the back for our water. We've got a inlet at the front, and we'll find out. It is battery operated. It can run for a number of hours. It can do 250 mils per minute, which is going to be interesting. That's quite an amount of water. But let's have a look at everything else we've got here. It's battery operated, and we charged it up just a little while ago. So we've got our clean and dirty water lines in a bag. We've got a bag which looks like it will actually fit the whole unit, or it might just be the accessories. There's our water line in. Glad I've got my Leatherman today. Comes with a really, really good USB-C to C cable, which I'm definitely not just going to use for my phone. Been fully charged up at home, and I've got my manual here. So I've got an accessories bag, I've got an instruction manual, charging cable. We've got a drinking water is the white one, blue is wastewater or domestic water outlet. Yeah, we'll find out what that's all about. A hybrid filter and an RO filter. So, warning, direct water filtered out of this product is recommended for drinking water, drinking cookie, etc., while concentrated water is recommended for domestic water, washing, cleaning, etc. So the domestic, to me, I'm going to say that's our wastewater. Instructions, how to do it. In case of first time use or long term unused, after the outlet pipe is connected, please place the water inlet into the water source before starting the machine. Drain the water for about 10 minutes before using the filtered water. That makes sense, just like any backwash on a RO unit. Charging instructions, that's fine. So the hybrid filter is for pulling out water, sediment, rust, suspended matter, other large particles, residual chlorine, and improve the taste. Now the RO unit is removing contaminants like fluoride, lime scale, heavy metals up to the standard of direct drinking water. So it looks pretty straightforward here. All right, this is our RO filter. Is it pumping?
Nah,
Is it low power?
it says pump.
Right, so Dad's polishing up that solar panel to make sure that it's going to start whacking some volts in, but it's likely to be tomorrow before that really gets going. See, I would almost want to set this up that white is wastewater, blue is good water.
Yeah, they've got the other way, have they?
But they're the same size hose, so it's not really going to matter that much.
I'm closing this up again.
Yep. Oh, and it's labelled here. Right, so drinking water. Oh, did you want to turn the speed back up to its...
Oh, doesn't need to be up at...
No, but we can put it at 7.
Yeah, I'll put it about halfway up.
6 or 7.
The timer, I'll put right up because it doesn't need...
No,
and
it
the
doesn't
speed
need
is down at 2 or 3.
Sorry?
The speed was... I've put the speed...
Yeah, I wound the speed down to see if we'd have enough voltage.
Yeah, low power, it's saying.
Yeah. No, it's 4:30 in the afternoon, so that's not surprising. Right. Now this is our water inlet line. Have we got somewhere we can actually get into the tank here?
What do you want to do?
Well, I want to throw this water line into the tank rather than go to the trough.
Well, trough, let's give it a full proper test.
A trough would really give it a good test. This would just reach if I had the unit on top of the water tank. Might grab a panel and get up on top of the tank.
Okay. Oh, you got to do anything more there?
No, what we need to do is plug the unit in, run it for 10 minutes to make sure it's flushed out and everything.
Yeah.
And then we're good to go. But I wanted to set this thing
Get this thing here
going while I was putting the camera into its new position.
Right. Okay. That manhole's up above.
Yeah, do you reckon it was closed? Oh, look. Would you? Look at that.
Shovel.
You wouldn't have thought that I ran over one of those today.
No. No, a 5-glass handle.
That's a full...
Oh.
What's your manhole look like?
The manhole is open, so we want to make sure we bring a bit of rubber back down for this one.
Lovely. Wonder if there's one on the other tank.
Are we going to have a look? Well, it's not going to make any difference
No,
now.
no, it's too late now. Okay, we said white for wastewater, blue for good water.
That's what you were going to set it up to, yes.
Yep. Wonder how good this lift pump is. You know, for how much it can pull.
Well, hopefully it's a
Diaphragm.
diaphragm.
It should be. Typically on an RO unit.
Yeah, they're diaphragms.
Yep. Should have this around this way so we can actually see the whole conversation. There we go. Now, our water points, the new ones we're putting in, and new tanks we put in, we've got sealed tanks.
Yes.
We've got the clean water in, and the tanks are sealed, so the water is safe in the tank. The old tanks, especially back in the day when you had squatter tanks that were just open, anything could get into them. Here, we've got a tank that's lost its lid. It looks like it's had it before. Its lid's gone. The problem with that is during hot times of the year, birds will go into here. They can't always get out. They drown. You end up with a whole load of muck in your tank. So out in the outback, if you need water, like we've got a few water points around the station that we've got good water on and we like. We typically will have a tap on them so that we can take the water straight fresh from the bore. So when you first open the tap there, you make sure that it drains out. So anything on the delivery line to the tank gets drained and flushed. You flick the pump onto manual and then you get the water coming out and you've got clean, fresh water. Now, you wouldn't usually go to a tank for water because of all those things that we've mentioned before about pests and bugs and everything that can happen in a tank. We're going to throw it in here today and give this thing a proper good test. We should, and we are going to do an EC reading on the water out of the trough because I can't do it from here, which does alter it a little bit, but let's get this unit happening and pumping away. Now the unit has the water pickup has a weight on it, but I'm lifting it a bit off the bottom. So it's about 4 inches under there and you can see all the other stuff in the tank. Other than what we have got in there in terms of sediment, I can't see any rotting birds, which is always a bonus. Right.
Ready to set again?
Let's turn it on. So there's a switch up the top there. All right, it's on run mode. I can hear its little diaphragm pump going. There we go, it's picked the water up.
So it's picked it up from a couple of meters down, which is good.
Yep. Which means you can throw it down a well or something if you needed to, which is always nice. Okay. Now they reckon you want to dump your first part, so we'll set this to just dump the water, the clean water, off the side of the tank and set that running. And we might as well put the waste out that side.
Yeah, get the waste down here so I can have a taste of it.
Yeah. It'll be, you know, pure wastewater. I'm sure that I set that up.
Well, when we taste it, we'll soon know.
I'll just look at the back of it and see which way it is. Drinking water is white. Okay, so glad we read that. All right, down we go. So we'll let that run for a bit and do its prime up. We only want to, demonstrate products that we'd actually use. And you go, yep, in the outback, you carry a lot of water and make sure that you've got your provisions. It's not often that we run out of water here, particularly because we've got fresh water sources around the place that we do utilise when we're out and we're operating and mustering. And when you're mustering, it does get pretty warm and you do use a bit of water. We'll throw that in the camera bag. And that's our filter strap, so that'll stay with the unit actually. But you'll be thinking, Jack and Tim, why? Why do you think you need this unit? So, just in case, but also, why is it so important to you two? Yeah. For
front.
Yep. For us, yeah. Why Joey Jarrah? Why would you want to test it out at a water point that's 25, 30 k's from home? You could just test it at home and prove it. Well, a couple of years ago, in the peak of summer, just after this windmill here died, it actually, the head completely failed. It was game over for it. It had done its dash. It was amongst the ones that we'd actually kept for the longest, really. It just kept on going. And one of the things that we've noticed a lot when we've moved over to solar is that the quality of water is a little bit better because we're not over pumping them. And it's interesting. Woggle's a really good one.
Yeah.
Since changing it from a windmill to a solar pump, we're getting more cattle there than we ever had before. So, Joey Jarrah, not far from home, down on the southern side of Windidda, and really great scenery, incredible. We set the repeater site up on John Wayne with Ant and George Summers. That's a really cool point, that's still operating. But in one hot summer, the water had gone, the windmill was dead. Dad and I have come out here, we had our 3 water bottles. It's not a shallow bore, it's 60, 70 feet. And we've gotten to work. We've started pulling this thing. Really warm, hot weather. We have drunk all of our water by the time we've pulled it up. Then we've got the solar on and it's coming towards the end of the day, but it's just pumping enough water that we could get a drink. We didn't want to drink that because it was awful.
The taste
was just off. It just wasn't quite right. So we'd tried everything. We dropped a Pure tab in, we dropped our Staminate into it. It was a no-go. So we got ourselves over to Jump Up. The water at Jump Up's not amazing either. And by the time you're there, you just go home. It's 10 minutes to home. So this water point is the one that we wanted to test this unit out because it's the only one we've ever run out of water for ourselves. So if it can make this water anywhere near drinkable, it's a success. While we're here, we're on to our other part of the job, which is putting this camera a little bit further up. So I've got 2 screws here to undo, and we've got a longer network cable to run up because this is a 48-volt camera. One of the things I've found now with these G3 or G5 flexes is that for getting the cable through, I just knock this part here out and I can put a tough cable, which is the armoured ubiquity cable, in through it. You just take them out a little bit like that and run a knife around and smooth it up. A couple of ways I can do these. I can either slip this into the hose clamp that's up there or screw it into the windmill itself. So it's only been going for a few minutes.
Yes, I've grabbed it. It's had quite a sweep, but you can hardly tell the difference. You try it.
I don't know if I trust you. Is this the waste and the RO? That's the RO, that's the waste side.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should get some of the neat water.
So that's the water on the other side.
Well, it tastes like it's been through a filter, but that's hell of a lot better than the other one. Once it's got rid of the...
That's drinkable.
Yeah, once it's got rid of the rubber flavour.
This is a bit like drinking neat scotch.
Which one's your nasty water?
This one.
That's your nasty. Well, let's not ditch it just yet. Do you want to check the pH or the TDS?
TDS, I think.
All right, so this is the waste out of the RO. 838 times 10 parts per million. 839 times 10 parts per million.
Mm.
Now, I know when you do, we should be dipping this in distilled, but $213 times 10 parts per million.
Do you want me to get you a bit of... Oh, I can't get you ordinary.
No, you could take this one and grab some out of the trough, and that'll...
Do you want me to set this going so it gets another lot?
We'll just let it drain through and then we can put into the big bottle. More time, more...
I can't stick it into it now. It'll be... It's just been pumping out now.
Yep. Right, I'll pop up and put this camera somewhere. We'll just run it along that one for now. Yes.
This blue tape has been special.
Yeah, no, it's it gets very affected by the heat. Also had a bit of a voltage spike in it or something because it took a second to like reconnect all the way back to home. All right, so Joey Jarrah. All right, I will do a jump over to this screen. Screen recorder on, media and mic. All right, so now we're looking at the screen here, so you can see what Dad and I are talking about. But that's the view we've got. So we'll bring it up to a full screen. So that's us live. So I'm going to need to turn it around a bit. So I'm going to go up and I'll adjust it, and
I'll call you.
you call the shots.
So we want to go
South with it.
about 10 degrees to the right. We want to pick up the corner of the tank, don't we?
We want to see the dipstick.
Yeah. A little bit more. Woo. Okay, we've got the dipstick in the right-hand corner,
Yeah.
and we've got the in-gate on the left-hand edge. You could see if it just went just a fraction back to the left. To the... Yeah, whoa. That's good. We've got dipstick, and we've got all the yards in and out gate.
Right. And how's our horizon? Do you want it down, up, or is it happy there?
You could come down a little bit. We have got about quarter blue sky. We're down to the tank. We're seeing right down to here on the tank. This run.
So we'll see if animals are wandering around it. Yeah, that's a great view. Well, it's an even better view is the little, what was it, a steer? Down at Rock and Roll.
All right.
Did you see that they knocked over the rub pole?
Have they?
Yeah. They knocked it over at night. It was just out of the infrared. We're going to have to go to Tunel tomorrow.
What's it not pumping?
Trough is down, dipstick's down.
I wonder if it's lucky enough to be the same as this. There are a lot of cattle coming in there.
A lot of cattle are, yeah. One of the things we'll do, we can run a ute up. Actually, we'll do the 2 utes. Because then we can put fuel in the grader.
Mm.
And then we can make sure that Lancelot is onto the network, but we'll prioritise the water at Tunel.
Yep.
And when I come up to Tunel with the grader, I will make it so I can land there. The last time I landed there,
You didn't enjoy it?
didn't enjoy it. I was in the savannah and it was tight.
Yeah, I've landed in them both.
Yeah.
But you want to be well.
You don't want a crosswind.
No.
Is what I had.
You want to be well set up for it.
Yeah. And the glasses that we're actually using for this are ones that we got from Flynn Design. And that was on our trip over to Queensland where Jasmine and I were over at the Grow Q thing. And we ended up with a good amount of these cups. So they're good. So that's, the camera's up and running again. We've rigged that up. We've worked out we've got a problem to solve tomorrow. And yeah, here we are with the ITEHIL. And let's check what the source water is like, or as close as we can get because the water levels are so low. Flick my TDS on. And that's indicating 640 times 10 parts per million. And now I'm going to put some of the RO water into the glass. And let's see what we're looking at. So after it's settled a bit, it's delivering us 191 by 10 parts per million. And the main thing is, it's got a bit of a taste, but that's more of a chemical plastic taste than anything else. And let's see what Dad reckons of it. It's better than it was before. And no, I haven't given you a trough water because I don't want you to get crook. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you drink that without any, you know, you still got a little bit there, but it's
I reckon
it's pretty good.
Yeah. Better than nothing.
Oh, you can, yeah. You get a crook and...
Yeah, so we've taken out a lot of nasty.
It'd be interesting at some stage either bring a bit of water back in from Woggle.
Oh, yeah, or even take this unit out to Woggle.
Yeah,
and see how it goes with just salt rather than...
Yeah. Well, that's got a mineralisation in it, but see if it's good enough to... Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you want the...
So I'm just going to throw
that one out?
That one out.
I'll water the plants with this one.
I guess you could. We've got,
You've done your...
Yes, we've done it. We've got our non-alcoholic beer to enjoy on our way home. But really, in summary, for one of these units, I'd say that if you're out camping and you're going to be doing some backwoods camping, that sort of thing, where you're not certain of your water source and that you are going to have a water source, this beats the hell out of a life straw because it's got its own power system. It can run off a USB point, so you could have a solar and charge it up with a solar system to a USB-C or any other ways. And it is quite light. It's about 6 kilos, which is not a lot to make sure that you've got good fresh water. And as we saw there, this pickup line, which has got a bit of length to it, it was able to draw up about 2 meters, 2 and a bit meters, which means that you can be safely away from your water source and drop it in there if like it's a running stream or any sort of thing like that.
So Jack, if you were to have this and put it through, will that take out any bacteria?
Yeah, it will.
So would you throw a AccuTab or whatever, one of those,
Pure tabs
in it first and then run it through?
Well, it will also pull the chlorine out and fluoride, the RO unit. So if you wanted to make sure, like absolutely sure, that you weren't going to have any microbial action, you would be able to throw a pure tab in, chlorine, bomb it up so that nothing in there could possibly be alive, and then filter it out with this so you don't have that strong chlorine taste that you usually get when you're using pure tabs.
Yeah.
And to be sure. But this this size unit is readily transportable, and if you're going to another country even, so some of those countries we've been to in the past, to make sure that you've got drinkable water and that you're sure of and safe with, you could run one of these.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely if you're having a crack out in the...
How much do they reckon they'll do on a charge?
On a charge? Couple of hours, I reckon, is what it was. It doesn't actually. We can quickly have a look in the manual.
I'm just wondering, how long it would take to, if there was a couple of you out there, you want what, 10 litres for the day?
Let's have a look at this. Filters, wide range pressure. Well, it's got its own system, so it's got the diaphragm pump, and that's what you need to be able to run the RO.
Yeah, and they're more efficient.
The little self-priming pump can suck up to 1 litre of water per minute, and it'll produce 250 mils per minute.
So 4 minutes to the litre.
So it'll do a cup to the minute. The TDS value of the water purified by the ITEHIL ITEHIL water purifier reaches standard between 0 and 50. We might have to run it through twice. It will do 9 gallons per charge. So 9 times 6.5. Or actually, I've got a calculator that'll do that.
Right, just do it by 5. 5 9's the 45.
9 US gallon,
Yeah.
34 litres per charge.
Yeah. So what was that I said? 9 by 5 is 5 9's 45. What'd you say? 30.
34. we'll work it out. 34 litres
Yeah.
is 3 people for a lot of hot
Yeah.
work. So now this sort of little unit, I reckon it'll do. And it could well be worth having one of these kicking about for international travel, or if you want to have something that you're going
Well,
to...
I wouldn't, yeah, if you're going certainly outback Australia, and where I'd be thinking, if you can't get up into the tanks, if the tanks are sealed up, you can pump it out of the trough then.
Go through a trough, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Which is not, you don't want to drink out of a trough, otherwise you, well, if you've got no choice, yeah, you drink out of a trough, but
the preference is to get it fresh from a bore, and then if you... That's all rubbish. And then if you really need to, you could go from a tank or a trough. So it's the type of thing that has a place, especially if you're going way, way out there. And I actually would say that if you've got a caravan and you don't have an RO unit in your caravan, you probably should. Because there's nothing worse than getting sick from
yeah,
water.
when you're travelling.
So
Right, I'll throw this on the back seat.
let's throw it in. And yeah, there's a link below if you want to grab one of these bad boys and try it out. And for everything else, sing out. But thanks for joining us today, and hope that you're going to have a great week. And we're going to keep on cranking on with the rest of the prep we've got to do. We'll get our
Sounds
job
good.
tomorrow up at Tunel.
Yep.
All right. Cheers.